I wanted to start this video and I'm letting you know now, I'll never steer you in the wrong direction. And when you're oblivious to really the attention you get from people, it depends on the signals that you even give people. So the signals that you give people, it really determines the attention that you get from people. So that's why when you have a good physique, it signals to other people that you take care of yourself, you put yourself first, and you understand that when it comes to having a good physique, it's something that is built over time. So I'm going to get into this video now and I'll let you know what I think. When it comes to my rating, I'm not going to be biased. And the reason why I'm not going to be biased is because I want to find ways of how I can improve my physique. And when you look at other people's physiques, you admire the work that they do, but you don't see anything wrong with it to see how they can improve. And that's really the point of this video. Let me just start off with chest, because I feel like my chest and my shoulders are really my best muscle groups. When I'm doing incline dumbbell press, I feel the tension in my chest as I'm working out. And I was lifting 12 kg, 14 kg, and even 16 kg. But it wasn't until I met my friend recently at the gym, because we go to the same one, and maybe he watches this, but maybe he doesn't. And because he's lifting double the weights that I normally lift, because while I was doing my incline dumbbell press, I was aiming to lift at least 18 kg, because I normally do 16 kg. When it came to my friend from college, he was basically lifting double the weight that I lift. So if I'm lifting 18 kg, he's lifting like 36 kg and even going above that. And when I saw that in person, it made me want to lock in, to really push myself. And I would rate my chest out of 10, a 7 out of 10. But when it comes to my shoulders, I would rate it at 8, which I'll get onto for like the next part. The reason why I rate my chest a 7 is because when I go down to a lower body fat percentage, that is when I'm able to see my chest pop out more. And I feel like you do work out your chest, but in a way you're working out other muscle groups all over your body so that your chest looks good. To improve my chest muscles and to really increase the weight that I'm lifting, it's really the best way for me to go. Because for example, when I was with my friend from college, for the first time I lifted 18 kg, and afterwards I was able to do 20 kg and even 22 kg, which is really my maximum. Maybe it was 24 or 22, it was one of those two. And because I was with my friend, we both kept each other accountable. I was going above my limits. And not only that, we spent longer in the gym. So a workout which normally takes me an hour and something, it took me at least 2 hours with my friend as well. In terms of my shoulders, the reason why I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 compared to my chest, which was a 7 out of 10, is because when it came to my shoulders, I had to work on my shoulders to then increase it and make it pop. And another word for that is like prominent. When it came to shoulders, I was mainly doing lateral raises for the first time in the gym, and it was really consistent for like 15 weeks. And when I was doing lateral raises 3 times a week for 15 weeks, it becomes a consistent habit. And when I was doing that, I realized that my shoulders were much better than where it was before. But when it came to lat pull down, I thought lateral raises and lat pull down was the same thing. So I had to look into it a bit more, and they're completely different things. When I included lat pull down in my routine, it wasn't really an exercise that I was used to. So that's why I started on the lowest weight and then I increased it. And when I increased it, it's because eventually I can do it. So I might have started from 7.9, which is around the lighter side. And when I'm talking about 7.9, I mean 7.9 kg. And then I increased it over time. It was probably 39 kg that I increased it to. And then currently what I'm on now is 45 kg. But I'm mostly focused on the reps and making sure that I do slow and controlled reps. So if you haven't caught up with me or you forgot what I said, I'm rating my chest a 7 out of 10 and my shoulders an 8 out of 10. But when it comes to my back, I would rate it a 6. And the reason why I rate my back a 6 is because if I didn't do the back workouts consistently, I wouldn't really see it as much. And it is similar to my shoulders, but the reason why I say back is a 6 is because you don't really know until you take your shirt off. And when it comes to my shoulders now, you can see the way that I carry myself, you see the way that I appear, that I'm standing more confidently. And even when I'm sitting down, I'm at least taking more space because I feel like that's what my physique allows me to do. Let me go back to what I was trying to say earlier. So in terms of my back, the reason why I rate it a 6 is because I could work on it a bit more. I could focus on maintaining a much heavier weight. Because for example, when I'm working out my back, I just need to make sure that my posture is good, that I'm at least adding tension during my workouts each and every single time. I need to make sure that when it comes to my back, I'm focused on my diet as well. Because for example, where I gain the most fat is really on my hips and really on my stomach, but possibly I could gain it on my back. So that's what I'm going to say. It's not that I do gain it on my back, but it's mainly like my hips. And some people call it love handles. So I gain fat really on my hips and really on my stomach. And I'm only saying this because I want you to know where you gain the most fat. And this is why you need to be serious about really your diet, making sure that you feel good and look good. In terms of really my core, and in other words, really my abs, so I would rate it a 4. So the reason why I rate my abs a 4 is because it's very similar to what I just said earlier. Because I gain the most fat on my stomach and really on my side of my hips. And this is where I need to focus more on my diet. I've been more consistent on leg raises, on planks. And for example, when I do leg raises, I just do 3 sets of 10 reps. And when it comes to really planks, I started off not doing it for like under a minute, because at first it was really hard to do planks. And then I focused on doing it for 30 seconds, and then I focused on a minute, and then increased it to 1 minute and 30 seconds. And then I increased it to 2 minutes. And that's really the first time that I did it. And then afterwards, because I did it for 2 minutes, the other 2 attempts that I did, I ended up doing it for 45 seconds. And that's what I'm going to say, because when it comes to consistency, it doesn't mean you're going to hit the same thing all the time. And when people say consistency, sometimes you have good days, you have bad days, and it's like a spike, because it's not a linear journey and it's not a linear graph which you just follow. You need to do things to your limit and go above your limits at times. So that's what I'm going to say in terms of abs, because the way that I can improve is focus on my diet, focusing on increasing my planks, and possibly trying a new other exercise in terms of ab crunches. If you want a rating in terms of your physique from me, all you need to do is message me on Instagram called Enjoy to Talk, and we can talk there. I can let you know my thoughts if you want advice in general, if you want it about relationships, friendships, fitness, and really how to get out of a tough situation. But let me just say this, because when it comes to really a rating in terms of your physique, you have to be very objective, otherwise you won't really improve. And the thing is, you can love someone's physique, but if you say that all the time, they won't really improve. So the next thing that I'm going to say, I'm going to do a rating in terms of my legs. And this is mainly about my calves and really like my quadriceps. In terms of my quads and really my calves, I would say my calves are much better when I actually shave my legs, because that way it shows it more. And that's something that you can do, because for example, you may work on calves a little bit, but then you realize you don't really see the muscle as much. And that's something that was in my case, because in my case, all I had to do was really shave my legs, and then I'm able to see more of my leg muscles. And it's something little, but that's what people say as well, that if you want to see more of your abs, you need to start shaving the hair that's really on like your body as well. So yeah, sorry for giving you that picture, but I just had to say it. So in terms of my legs, I would rate it a 5. And the reason for that is because I do 10k steps. I do it 4 to 5 times a week. And when I do 10k steps, it's because, for example, my diet isn't really the best, but then I'm trying to work on this each and every single day. And I'm going to say this because when it comes to my legs, I focus on barbell row, barbell RDLs, and that means like Romanian deadlifts. And barbell row is when you're like making sure that you're in a position where you bend down a bit, and then what happens, you pull the weight up towards you, and then your legs are bent because you want to make sure that you're working on your legs as well. So you're not just working on your legs, but you're trying to work on really your chest, your core. And that's what I'm going to say for that. And I could be wrong, but just let me know your thoughts. It's just making sure that I'm increasing the weight for my squats. Because one time I was able to do 25 kg, but I wasn't able to put the weight back properly. And the other thing which I'm going to say is because when it comes to squats, for example, and really RDLs, I'm just doing 10 kg, 15 kg, and the maximum weight that I'm at is really 20 kg. So that's something that I do want to work on, really pushing myself in terms of really my leg workouts. And the reason why I don't do treadmill as much is because I already do 10,000 steps. So I would rate my legs a 5 out of 10 if you didn't hear me say that. So the last thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to rate my biceps, and I'm going to rate my biceps a 5 out of 10 as well. Because for example, I do hammer curls, and that's really the only exercise which I do, because I feel like hammer curls are more effective than bicep curls. When it comes to bicep curls, you lift the weight horizontally, but when it comes to hammer curls, you're lifting the weight vertically. And that's the difference, because when it comes to hammer curls, I've noticed more tension in really my muscles, and specifically my biceps. I feel the tension more when it comes to hammer curls. So yeah, that's really the video, and I did this earlier. I know I could do better for this video, but I just thought, why not? The sun is out, the audio should be good, and yeah, that's all I really wanted to say, because by me doing this video, I can do ratings for you as well. So yeah, that's all I got to say, because I want you to improve your looks, I want to improve my looks, and as a result of that, you get more attention. So that's all I got to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon.